Hi, welcome to this quick how-to help video on solving algebraic fractions that are equations. We've got three different ones to look at in this video. If there's one in particular that you're looking to have a walkthrough on, then do jump straight to that. Otherwise, I'm going to go through each one in turn, giving you as much information as I can about how we approach them. So let's get on with the first one. Okay, so algebraic fractions will follow the same rules as numerical fractions. So when we look at this, we can see that the denominators aren't the same. So we're going to need to cross multiply. Now, a lot of people want to get the 4 involved at this stage. We don't. We completely ignore that. What we're going to be doing is just concentrating on this left-hand side to simplify that algebraic fraction down as much as possible, and then we will go on and solve it as an equation. So I'm going to be cross multiplying to get the denominators the same. So the 2x will multiply here, the x will multiply here. I'll just pop that on. And just like normal numerical fractions, whatever I do to the top, I do to the bottom. So that is going to happen here as well. So this is going to give me 2x over 2x squared plus x over 2x squared, and it continues to equal 4. I can add along the top now, which will give me 3x, and it's all over 2x squared. I've now simplified the left-hand side as much as I can, which means I can just go on and solve it as a normal equation. The first thing I want to do is just get rid of that fraction, just get rid of that division. So I'm going to move the divide to the other side. It will land as times. And I've got times 2x squared landing. So that's going to go in and look like that. Tidying up, I've got 3x equaling 8x squared. Now I can see at this stage that I've got myself a quadratic. To solve a quadratic, it needs to equal 0. So I'm going to hop my 3x over to join the 8x, choosing to do it that way because the 8x is positive. It would be really nice to keep that positive. So I've now got 8x squared minus 3x equaling 0. I'm going to solve this by factorising. X is common in both, so I'm going to bring the x out. Now, some students don't really like this very much. They're quite comfortable with the bracket, and they would know to say that x here is equal opposite sign, so positive 3/8, but they wouldn't know what to do for here necessarily. That's my experience in the classroom. This x will always equal 0. Remember, we're trying to get this side, the left-hand side, to equal the right-hand side, which we set to 0. So in the bracket, it doesn't really matter what's going on. As long as this x is 0, 0 times whatever is 0. So when you can factorize like that, you will always get an x equals 0, which is worth knowing. Okay, so on to the second one, and nothing is going to change now. The way that we approach the first one is the way that we approach all algebraic fractions. So first step, concentrate on your left-hand side only, getting that as simplified as we possibly can. Again, we do not have a matching denominator. I could cross multiply, or I could just spot that one needs multiplying by 3. And if I just multiply that one by 3, I will get them to be the same. So I'm going to be timesing top and bottom by 3. Now, I wouldn't normally do that. I'm just going to go straight in. We'll rub that out. I'm just going to go straight in with bracket and 3. But I must remember I multiply top and bottom. So that's going to give me 21x plus 12 all over 6 plus 3x plus 2 all over 6. That's going to tidy up to 24x plus 14 all over 6 equaling 5. And at this stage, I can just go on now and solve it as a normal equation. If I want to know what x equals, I need to get it on its own. I can see that this is a linear equation. It's not a quadratic. There's no power 2. So we can just start the process of hopping. So my divide by 6 will land as times by 6. And now I've got 24x plus 14 equaling 30. That'll go next, land is minus 14, giving me 24x equaling 16. I will then get that x on its own by dividing through by 24, and x is equal to 16 over 24, or I can simplify it if I am told to in the question to 2/3. Okay, so the last question, again, same process, concentrating on that left-hand side and concentrating on our cross multiplication to get the denominators the same and the tidy up, simplifying that fraction as much as possible before we go on to solve. Now, these ones are the most likely that you will see in your GCSE. So the others are just warming you up, helping you learn the skill. And then this is the type of thing that we will see. When I do my cross multiplying at this stage, I'm kind of just leaping through. So I'm going straight into, I've got a 3 and my x minus 8 is coming to join it. I've then got take away 6 and then my x minus 2 is coming to join it. And then on the bottom, I've got to multiply x minus 2 with x minus 8. Now I can do that the long-winded way by showing it top and bottom, but that's what it's going to come out with. So really, my mind is just take it up, squash together. Okay, obviously squashing with the crab's claw set up, ready to go. Now I start my process of tidying. So I've got 3x minus 24 minus 6x plus 12. And watch for this, okay? When they've got a negative, that's why we use our brackets. That's why we set everything up clearly so we don't miss double negatives becoming positives. It's very, very easy to miss, okay? And that is going to be all over. And I'm going to expand this out at this stage, which is going to be x squared minus 10x plus 16. We're going to tidy the top. So 3x minus 6x is minus 3x. Minus 24 plus 12 is minus 12. Okay. And that is all over x squared minus 10x plus 16 equaling 3. So I've not written it at every stage, but I'm bringing it back in because I've now got myself to a point. Let's get it so you can see it as well. I've got myself to a point where I'm as small as I'm probably going to get on this left-hand side, and I'm going to start now the rearranging and the process of solving. So all of this is going to come up and join the 3. So that's going to look like this. I've got minus 3x minus 12 left, equaling 3, and then x minus 10x plus 16 is joining it. So now we're going to expand the right-hand side. So I've got that on the left-hand side, and I've got 3x squared minus 30x plus 48. I can see I have my quadratic. I kind of knew it was going to happen at this stage here. Well, even at this stage here, I could see it was going to appear. So I want that to equal 0. So both of these are going to go across and land on the other side. Minus 3x is going to land as plus 3x. Minus 12 will land as plus 12. And that will then give me 3x squared minus 27x plus 60. And that obviously is equal to my 0. You could start your process of solving your quadratic with these numbers. I would much prefer to simplify wherever possible. I can see that these are all in the 3 times table. So I'm going to divide down by 3. That's going to give me x squared minus 9x plus 20. And of course that equals 0. And then I can factorize. So I've got my 20, which is 4 and 5, 2 and 10. I'm going to drop my x. I've got neg pos, so it's neg neg. I want to make minus 9, so it's the 4 and the 5. They can just go in either way round. So x must equal 4 or x must equal 5. And that is that. So I really, really hope you found that useful. If you've seen any techniques that you aren't familiar with, then please do go check out the other videos. I've got lots of videos on quadratics, how to factorize. If you saw the way that I was rearranging by hopping and you want to see a bit more of that, then there's lots of videos on solving equations as well.